So one of the things that makes Finovate really interesting from an attendee standpoint is the diversity of presenters that we have up on stage. And we had a very diverse group this time around as well. We saw some solutions coming from artificial intelligence, cryptocurrency, open banking is a big theme here in Europe, and it's one that we expect to see with a ripple effect taking on in other countries. And then of course cryptocurrency and blockchain is another one which is sort of top of mind for a lot of people right now. And we saw a lot of those here at the show, and I think one of the really unique things that we've seen is that artificial intelligence has kind of gone from a niche industry to now something that is permeating all aspects of fintech. And I think you're going to start to see fewer and fewer pure AI solutions and more solutions that are incorporating AI in one way or another. So I think that's one of the things that we really noticed this time around. And then of course there's been a little bit of a trend with small business banking, and we've seen that as well. There's such an opportunity for banks to engage that segment more thoroughly. There's a lot of opportunity there, and so we're seeing a lot of investors looking at that space and a lot of innovators looking at that space as well. And we saw quite a few companies playing in that space here at FinovateEurope. Well, first off, we love to be able to put the expanded content up on stage and get into a deeper dive than the demos allow us to. And one of my favorite sessions was Simon Taylor's talk on distributed ledger technology and blockchain technology. Obviously, that's something that's top of mind for a lot of people. Cryptocurrency is getting a huge amount of press right now, and it's still something that most people aren't really comfortable with, which is interesting. So Simon's talk I thought was really strong, and we saw quite a few companies up on stage who are looking at blockchain and distributed ledger technology as a way to actually build products. In his talk, Simon talked about the perception that it could be a solution without a problem. And I think that's starting to shift. We're starting to see companies now who are able to take distributed ledger technology and apply it towards areas that banks are really interested in. And so to see him up on stage talking about his high-level trend about that industry, and to see the audience engagement on that panel, that speech, was really exciting for us. And I think we're going to see more and more of that over the years as companies look at distributed ledger technology, look at blockchain technology as a way to build solutions that solve everyday problems for banks and other financial institutions. So that was a particularly good one. Of course, there were a lot of other good pieces of content up on stage, but that's one where I felt like I really learned a lot, and I think our audience really did as well, because it's such a niche area, and there's not a lot of expertise yet amongst financial institutions. So I think we're going to see more and more people learning more about it, excited to learn more about it, and as they do, they'll demystify that space a little bit more, which will allow some of the innovators who are doing really cool things there to get a foot in the door and to start some conversations that might not have been possible even 6 or 12 months ago. One of the really unique things that happened at FinovateEurope this time around was that we had a large cluster of Best of Show winners who were all focusing in a fairly similar area. The idea of user experience and the personal experience that people have as they engage with their banks. We had Backbase, BIQ, Creologics, Maniga, and WUP, who are all touching on this personalization in one way or another, whether it's from a marketing standpoint, the way that banks can engage their consumers, whether it's from a data standpoint, or simply easing the way that users are able to interact with their banks. We saw a lot of the audience voting go that direction, which is a clear indication that while the innovations are obviously tech focused, the audience is looking at it at a very personal level and trying to engage with the users individually. And I think that's a very intelligent move. So, we see obviously a very diverse group of presenters up on stage, but to see such a high representation of that among the Best of Show winners, I think speaks to a trend, not necessarily on the part of the innovators, but on the part of what attendees are looking for, what banks in the industry are looking for. And of course, our other two Best of Show winners, iProve and Microblink, doing something a little bit different, but those are both the types of things that we've seen win Best of Show in the past, so no surprises there, that type of content. Really, it's that cluster of 5 out of the 7 being in a very similar type of solution that I think is very unique and something that's pretty unusual. We don't usually see that at Finovate.